goodness. That was very Jamaican of me. My phone is going off. Bitcoin is currently. Oh, I don't have my AirPods on, which means the audio is probably going to be different. Actually, let me put my AirPods on. Yeah, you guys know I like to talk, so let me actually get prepared and stuff. All right, let's turn that on. All right, are we locked in? I didn't hear it tap in, but I'm hoping that it's actually on. Okay, seems to be on. Okay, if it isn't, that sucks. But okay, we're live. Bitcoin is currently at Bitcoin is currently dipping. It hit 99,000. It was at 125,000. So then now, with it actually being 25% or 20% from its all-time highs, what do you do now? Okay, this is the question everybody's asking. What do I do now? Do I sell? Do I panic? Do I wait? Do I hold? Do I buy more? What does people do? Okay, so there's a couple things I'm going to make my points on this, and then I'm going to hop off this live. But I wanted to come and talk to you guys. One, I just wanted to show you guys this is my view. That's my view. Beautiful place. I'm in Grenada. Yada yada yada. Okay, so first of all, when Bitcoin had hit 40K for the first time, actually, when it had hit that entire run up, it had gone up from, I think, 4K all the way up to 70K. Okay. It had gone all the way up to 70K, and everybody had been like, man, I wish I had bought. But it had gone all the way up to 70K. No, when it had gone all the way up to 70K, it had crashed all the way back down to 20, right? Or 30 or something like that. I think it went down to 30, 50% crash from 70K back down to 30. The reason I'm telling you about this crash is that when it had hit 70K, people thought that's the highest it would ever go. And people who understand Bitcoin actually realize that Bitcoin is actually going to hit a million one day. Just like it's going to hit 100, just like it's going to hit a 500,000, it's going to eventually hit $1 million for one Bitcoin. Now, what does that mean? It means if you had seen Bitcoin crash from 70 back down to 30, you'd have been relieved. Logic would tell you that. Logic would tell you to be relieved because Bitcoin had given you another chance. You didn't have to buy at 70, you could buy at 30 and then watch it go back up eventually to 100K. I've been in Bitcoin since Bitcoin was less than $4,000. Now, if you think that Bitcoin will ever get back to $4,000, you are out of your mind. However, we always want to wait. This is human nature. We want to wait until prices come back down. We're going to wait, see if it crashes some more, and then we're going to wait and see what happens. But Bitcoin is having a 20% sale. If your favorite shoes went on sale, 30% off, 20% off, 15% off, you'd probably look at it like, oh, damn, it's a nice sale. I would consider buying. But we don't do the same with stocks. And I think the reason why we don't do the same with stocks is that we are not convinced that this stock or this asset or gold or Bitcoin or whatever is worth the price that we are paying for it or the anchor. You're not convinced. And so then you just need more information to actually convince you. Because you know that a shirt that always sells for $200, if you see it for 150, it's a sale. You know that. But we don't do the same thing when it comes to investing. And I think that's the mistake. But then let me tell you what's actually interesting is that if you actually think about fashion, that $200 shirt actually costs maybe $5 to make, but you're buying it for $200. You're being ripped off because you're going to see the price drop from 200 to 150 and you're going to think you're getting a deal, not realizing that the shirt only costs $5 to make. So let's go over to Bitcoin. What is the price of Bitcoin? The price anchor that we should use is $1 million for a Bitcoin. because we've already passed 100,000. So we can't use that anymore as an anchor. 1 million for one Bitcoin, is it going to happen within the next 2 years? Probably not. But can it happen in the next 15 to 20 years? Yes, it can. Now, if we're using that as an anchor, $1 million for one Bitcoin, if you can get a Bitcoin for $100,000 today, that's a 90% discount. Wouldn't you consider that to be worthwhile? You're getting Bitcoin at a 90% discount. 90%. That has to be the easiest decision in the world. If we're getting Bitcoin at a 90% discount, then why wouldn't you take that deal? So that's one, my first argument. My second argument for you when it comes to Bitcoin. Okay, think about this, right? Gonna make you rich. If you see Bitcoin past $100,000, go all the way up to $120,000, and then at $100,000, you are thinking, damn, I should get in now, but what if it drops again? And then it goes all the way up to 125,000. And you're thinking, damn, I wish I had got in when it was at 100. And then it goes back down to 100. And you said that if it ever got back down to 100, you would buy it then. And now it's 100 and you don't buy, there's something wrong with you. You're not thinking straight. That's not investing, that's gambling. You said that if it ever got back down to 100, you would buy. And here it is, back down, and you're not buying. Why? See my point? That doesn't make sense. You're thinking backwards. You're thinking backwards. Also, recognize that this is an emotional game. Now, do we know when Bitcoin is going to increase? What if Bitcoin goes back down and dips to $80,000? Is that possible? Yes. What would I do? I would buy more. I would buy more. Because my price anchor is not 100. My price anchor is not 50,000. My price anchor is a million. So then if it goes down to 80K, that is a deal. That is a deal. Let's keep going. So if Bitcoin goes down, think about this. Bitcoin goes down further. Let's say you have $5,000 to invest. So it drops 20%. You have $5,000. Take 20% of that and buy. So then if you have $5,000 and it drops from 125K back down to 100K, then you should be thinking, okay, I'm not going to put the entire 5K into the market. But if I put $1,000, if it goes down further, I still have more to buy. You understand what I'm saying? If it goes down to 80K, I still have $4,000 to buy at 80K. Then if it goes down 1,000, hey, how you doing? If it goes down 1,000, then you should be thinking, okay, it's down 1,000. Sorry, if it goes down from 125K to 100K, then you should be thinking, I can buy 1,000. If it goes back to 80K, I can say, okay, now I can buy 2,000. I have $2,000 left. If it goes down further, I can spend the rest of the 2,000 and get an even better deal. But then if it comes back up and doesn't go past 80K, now you still have $3,000 invested, and you can maybe buy the other $1,000 if it goes back up to 90K. But you have at least caught some of the dip, and you still have some cash reserve just in case. This is how you progressive buy and play the market going bottom down. Why? Because I promise you, the big people in the market who have millions of dollars to invest, guess what they're doing? They're buying. They're buying Bitcoin because they're going to make money. They're buying Ethereum. They're buying Bitcoin. Those are the only two I would recommend. That's it. And if Ethereum compared to Bitcoin, Bitcoin is really the one. That's like, Destiny's Child. If you take the other two, no, you just, pick Beyonce. That's a joke. No, you pick the one, right? You pick the star. Don't pick, the Jackson 5. Pick Michael Jackson. That's what Bitcoin is. Bitcoin is the star. So pick the star. That's the best bet on what's going to make the most return on your investment over the next 20 years. No doubt about it. And I'm not saying that they're less talented, but no one from either of those groups would disagree with that. You invest in the winner because that's the highest return. Simple as that. All right. So I promised I'd keep this short. So I'm giving you 10 minutes. I'm gonna go back to what I was doing, but that's my thoughts on Bitcoin thinking. It's not that complicated if you actually just think it through. It's actually a very easy process. But anyway, I'll see you guys. Enjoy the